Hi, everyone. Olivia Reiner here for Packers News, and I am joined by Pete Dougherty again, who is in Arizona for the NFL League meetings. Pete, you're still looking pale. I'm a little disappointed in you.
I have not been outside much. A lot of time in this ballroom. This is a really nice hotel at the Biltmore, but a lot of time in the ballroom.
Well, you spent some time with Matt LaFleur this morning, who had was part of the coach's breakfast. Got to pick his brain a little bit. Something that was kind of interesting. He mentioned that he's hoping to have a team come and practice against the Packers. This is the first time that in the preseason. This is the first time that's happened since 2005. It's been quite a while. Mike McCarthy wasn't big on this. What do you make of that? Why? What are the benefits of bringing another team in to practice against the Packers?
Yeah, it was funny because after the breakfast, we actually got a second session with LaFleur, just the local beat writers who had come down, and that's where he told us that. And I think his thinking is, they did it with the Rams and then with Tennessee, and he just liked the idea that he could get his starters going against another team's starters, get a lot of reps for those guys without having his own guys going against each other. And then in the games, he wouldn't also wouldn't have to play them as much. I just think they like to get the work going because in camp it's just you're going against your own guys, and it's the same guys every day for almost all of camp. So this breaks that up and lets them evaluate guys going against another team's player. I think that's the biggest advantage there.
hmm Matt LaFleur also mentioned that he's been reviewing lots and lots of Aaron Rodgers tape, says he's looked at over 1,500 snaps from Rodgers' most recent career, dating as far back to 2010. Anything interesting that he had to say about what he saw from Rodgers?
Yeah, it's funny. It sounds like he's watched every snap of last season and in 17 when Rodgers, missed a lot of the season because of the injury. Um, I thought it was really interesting the play that jumped out to him and the one that he wants to show Rodgers, and he said he'd probably show the whole team. And it's Rodgers standing in the pocket, and the Jets ran a blitz, and Bart Scott had a free run at him, and Rodgers waited and got the ball out over the middle for a completion to Nelson and took a really hard shot that LaFleur described as folded in half like a suitcase, and that's a really important thing for quarterbacks to be able to do. There are times where they just have no choice but to sit. And, you can't escape. There's not time. You're going to get sacked. You just got to stand there and take the hit, and you still need to make the play. And I thought it was interesting that that's the play that he chose that really jumped out to him as the kind of play that he thinks wins games.
So you got to talk to LaFleur today, and tomorrow you'll be hearing from President and CEO Mark Murphy. What types of questions are you planning on asking him, and what sorts of topics do you think he'll be discussing tomorrow?
I think it'll mostly be rule stuff. He's on the competition committee, so they're the ones making most of these rules recommendations. And this thing is just turning into they passed some rules today, but it was all the easy stuff, the real tough stuff, what to do with instant replay, whether you can challenge a play where no flag was thrown, all that stuff. They keep just kicking that can down the road, and I don't know if they'll do anything more to address that in their meetings tonight or tomorrow morning if they have them than they already have. So maybe they'll just punt all this stuff, but mostly be asking about that. And since he's basically the head of football too, I'm sure there'll be a few football questions about how active they were in free agency.
All right. Well, Pete will certainly have more information for all of us tomorrow. So make sure you're checking out PackersNews.com for his notebook and his columns as well. We appreciate you joining us, Pete. Thank you. Make sure you sit in the sun just for a little bit. I'm
I,
daring you.
yeah, I think we've got about another hour of sunlight here, probably even a little more than that. So yeah, I'll be there while you're freezing there in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.